I swear, YouTube be doing the most sometimes. Man, I swear, YouTube. I had to hit refresh like 100 times in order for this, in order for the video to come through. Anyways, how's everybody doing? I see we got a few people in the chat. Man, how bad is this lag? Let's see. Be doing. Yeah, I'm just here to be here. Sita, what's up? Good to see you. I saw you comment on the other video. I remember you said you had a question. What's your question? Well, I know it might be late for you guys, but I'm just waking up now, so I'm just having my coffee for the first time today. Right now, the time is like 7 in the morning, so trying to get this coffee and to wake me up a bit. Yeah, this live stream doesn't really have a topic today, guys. It's just kind of like a coffee and chill type of deal. Coffee and chill type of deal. I like that. Yeah, so coffee and chill. We could talk money, we could talk finance, we could talk investing, we could talk whatever comes to mind. So Sita asks, would you ever hold any yield max funds? So I am actually really thinking of holding some yield max funds. I'm being very, very careful with how much money I'm going to dump into yield max though. There is a very good YouTuber I highly recommend. I'm not afraid to share this, but his tag, and I'll put it in the chat, is Pay Me in Dividends. I always mess this up. Yeah, Pay Me in Dividends. I would recommend you check him out. He's pretty solid. Definitely has a lot of insight on yield max funds, and he's the one YouTuber that I actually trust a little more than most others. So he is putting out some great content. I'm not saying all of his picks are great, but I'm saying like the way he goes through it and the way he talks about yield max funds is excellent. But yes, I'm also thinking about putting some money into yield max funds. I'm not going to mention the tickers on this stream just because I don't want to seem like I don't want you to go out and start buying these things because I'm mentioning them. But if I do pull the trigger on some yield max funds, I do plan to do a video on it. So I hope that answers that question extremely well. Oh, one other tip: if you're going to buy yield max funds, consider where you're going to hold them. Are you going to put them in a tax advantage account like a Roth IRA or a 401k, or are you going to put them in your brokerage account? Because if you put them in your brokerage account, just remember the tax consequences that do come along with that stuff. Yeah, there we go, Misty. Yep, Misty. I wasn't gonna say it, but yeah, Misty is the one I am looking at. But yeah, Misty is the one I'm looking at. So I hope that answers that extremely well. Hey, we got somebody from New York. All right, Eugene, that's awesome. Calgary. Okay. Oh, Calgary, Canada. Okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar with Canada at all. Let's see. Random Rich Black Guy asks, do you like REITs because of the monthly dividends? So a lot of my REITs don't pay monthly dividends. They pay me quarterly. But when you average it out, like depending on how many holdings you have, you could make it so it does pay you monthly, but it depends on which ones. One of the more popular REITs that does pay monthly is O, Realty Income, ticker O. They are known as the monthly dividend company. And right now, I would say that, I'm not going to say go buy them, but I would say that they're priced attractively right now. But, you should still do your due diligence. All right, it could still drop a lot lower, but right now they're pumping out a yield of about 5.4% to 6%. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, that is something worthwhile to take a look into if you like REITs. But just remember, because they're paying out dividends, you just have to remember to take into account those tax consequences. So Eugene for Harmony says, anything else but Misty. Okay, so like which other funds are you talking about? Like what other yield max funds are you talking about? Which yield max fund? I mean the most stable. Yeah, so I don't know if yield max funds are stable. Again, you got to kind of see, because there are some that have lost tremendous amounts of value, right? And the way I like to look at it now, and again, I'm going to credit Pay Me in Dividends with this, because he really made me see like a different angle. Sometimes we get really biased about what we invest in because, oh, high yield equal NAV erosion, or high yield equal lots of money loss, right? Like, but he made me see that, like, no, what you should do is look at the underlying security, the company that these yield max funds are writing calls against, right? Synthetic cover calls against, and then look deeper in that company and see what you're actually kind of like betting against, or what you're buying. Because if the underlying is doing really well and the cover calls, yield max funds are hopefully the fund manager is doing well as well and writing the correct kind of calls against it, then you can make a lot of money. Like, you can make a lot of money off that. That's why Misty is like so popular right now, because MicroStrategy, which is the stock of the underlying fund, it holds a lot of Bitcoin. It holds a ton of Bitcoin. So as Bitcoin does well, so does MSTR, so does MicroStrategy, because it has so much Bitcoin on its balance sheet. And so Yield Max Fund is writing cover calls against that. So you're like indirectly investing in Bitcoin through MicroStrategy and then getting dividends from it. But there's dividend ETFs now and Yield Max funds that are doing cover calls against like Bitcoin in some form or fashion. And they're making, some of them are, I don't know. I don't know if they're making money. I haven't really looked into them, but it might be something worthwhile. Again, it's one way to make money. And I know like there's other cover call ETFs out there that are coming out that are going to be doing the same thing against Bitcoin. Like right now, all the rage for income investors is all about doing cover calls, right? Like that's all the rage right now, is all these cover call ETFs and funds coming out that are doing cover calls against, Bitcoin, crypto, companies. Like they're all the rage right now. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I'm more of a cautious investor. I'm not gonna even lie. I'm more like, my style of investing is more on the conservative side. Like I don't like taking outlandish, freaking bets or anything like that. But if I was gonna implement any type of trading in my account, or cover call strategy, I would definitely go with a fund. Like I'm not smart enough. I got other shit to do, to be honest. All right, I got stuff to do. I'm not trying to sit at a computer and lose money, doing cover calls. Like I'm just not that smart. So I'd rather leave it to the professionals and let them handle it. But again, you just want to keep in mind expense ratios and how the fund actually works, because you can lose a lot of money. So I hope that answers that incredibly well for everyone who's asking about that. So So Ceta says Misty so far has been the only yield max fund I could spend the entire distribution, and NAV appreciates up 30%. So yes, that is why I've been kind of looking at Misty myself, because it would be nice to have additional income. But on the same side, I think I'm worried a little bit about what is to come, because right now we have a new president, and yes, he's saying that he's going to take off taxes against Bitcoin and crypto gains, which would be massive. That would be huge. If he does that, if he's able to do that, and he's deregulating the crypto industry a bit by, changing out the seats at the SEC, and making it easier to invest in crypto. I could see huge tailwinds for crypto in general. Ergo, like Bitcoin is going to do really well. Ergo, Misty should do exceptionally well. Ergo, YieldMax should probably do really well. So I don't know. This is just my thinking, my predictions. Of course, I could be completely wrong, and then this is why I just want to err on the side of caution, because I've invested into like something like QYLD, and I had suffered like NAV erosion, right? Like I was making like a lot of money, but I was suffering NAV erosion. I had like I think between XYLD, QYLD, and RYLD, because I wanted to diversify a bit. I was making like almost $1,000, right? Almost $1,000 a month, and but the money was eroding, like the NAV was going down, and I was like, what the hell? Like this makes no sense. Even though on paper I was making more because of the yield, it didn't make sense. I didn't want to lose my capital, so I ended up selling out of them and then just moving all the money back into REITs and then called it a day. Yeah, see, you hit the point. I mean, doing research is important. I mean, there's too many like investors out there who just YOLO their money, and they're throwing dartboard, or they're throwing darts at the board hoping something sticks. And I remember like here's a quick story. I remember like way back, I was working overseas, and I was at this base, and there's like these young guys, these young soldiers, and they're like taking advice from people they don't even know on Twitter, right? Or taking advice from people they don't even know on Instagram, right? They're just seeing these posts and they're like, man, I'm trying to get my bread. I'm trying to stack. I'm trying to 10x this, I'm trying to go to the moon. And they all ended up losing their money, right? They all ended up losing their money to someone else, which is sad as hell, because these guys are like, they're like 18, 19 years old, and this is what they think investing is. They think investing is just throwing a bunch of money in the market and then hoping for the best, right? So this is kind of why I like to do what I do on this YouTube channel, because I hate seeing that kind of stuff, and I hate YouTubers that peddle a bunch of crap too, because there are some YouTubers out there that, man, it's like pathetic what they do. It's super pathetic what they do. And then, they always claim, well, it's not financial advice. Well, your audience is listening to you. You have influence, and you're using your platform to peddle a bunch of crap. Like, that's just sad and pathetic. So I don't know. It's why I do what I do. So Eugene for Harmony says, I owned QYLD for a couple of months as a collateral for a loan. Huh. Can you explain that a little more? That's interesting. Because the way I'm looking at it, the way I'm thinking of it is you're owning QYLD. So someone gave you money as a loan, and you're using that money as collateral, and you put it into QYLD. I hope that's making sense. Yeah, like personally for me, I actually took a loan out against my own against myself, and then used that money to invest in real estate. Like that's what I did for one project. But of course, that there's risk in that. Of course, there's risk in that. So you got to be real careful when you do things like that. Even if you're taking margin to invest in other things, like I even thought about taking margin and investing into Misty, but that would be like some next level, like degenerate gambling almost. Like I don't know if that qualifies as degenerate gambling, but because the problem is if Misty goes down and you still gotta pay that loan back, right? So that's why you gotta be real careful with this stuff. Who else we got in here? I see we got 4 people, 5 people keeps fluctuating. Who else we got in here? Anyone else want to stop in and say hi? Any questions? Money, finance? We do it all over here. We even do some personal development stuff. You know, like I was going on kind of a tangent the I think 2 weeks or so, and I was just going down this rabbit hole of like personal development because I don't know, I like personal development. I like talking about it because you know there's I don't know, there's a lot of experience that I have in the professional space. You know, climbing that corporate ladder, and then you know all this stuff that I've dealt with, all this experience I have, all these books I've read, and you know it's I like sharing that knowledge, you know, because I wish I had a mentor when I first started out. Instead, I had to learn this crap, you know, basically while I was down in the dirt and the mud. So Eugene for Harmony says this is a brokerage loan from Wealthfront. Okay, so yeah, it's like a margin loan basically. Okay, all right, I got you. So Ceta says I personally don't use margin, but I see the appeal. I heard its rates are around 5%. Yeah, yeah. Um, Yeah, sometimes the interest rate on like I take a loan from my own brokerage, and the interest rate is far lower than if I was to go to a bank, right? And I mean like almost in half, like almost 50% lower, right? So I'd rather go with that. And then my brokerage, because I go with M1 Finance. If you guys watched some of my previous videos, I'm on M1 Finance, and I do have a loan against my stuff. And the interest rate's like I think it's sitting at like 4.25 right now, which is, in my opinion, pretty decent. Um, I've heard like financial advisors advise their clients, their really wealthy clients, that if they have a huge enough portfolio and they want to buy a home, just take a loan against your assets and go buy the home because the interest rate will be way lower than if you were to buy a mortgage off the you know open market. So that when I heard that, I was like, man, that is crazy. That is crazy that like financial advisors are actually advising this kind of stuff. So interesting. It is interesting. Yeah, using margin is you know to go buy stocks, go buy funds, ETFs, things like that. Especially in the dividend space, you know, the dividend investor space, you know, the income investor space. Everyone's like, oh, you know, take out some margin, go buy dividend paying ETFs. You'll pay yourself back. Yes and no. And then not only that, you have to hope that whatever you're putting your money into is not going to go to zero, or you know, drop 50%, which would cause a what they call a maintenance call. So basically, the brokerage says that you need to have this much money in your brokerage account in assets. And if you take a loan, if you fall below this threshold, they're going to sell your assets, right? They're going to sell your stocks. They're going to sell whatever you have in there in order to recoup that cash. So you can actually have like double the downside risk for that. So you got to be, yeah, you have to be careful. And some people just don't understand that, right? Now, if you had money in like an index fund or something like I don't know, like QQQ, I can't see that thing dropping more than, you know, 30 to 40% even in these next couple of years. I can't see that. So if you had a sizable position, you know, you could probably implement a strategy like that because at least you're diversified. But, you know, this is more so for like people who have like, you know, a bunch of money in, you know, one or two, three stocks, and they take a maintenance or they take a loan against it. That's where I would be careful. Yeah, coffee and chill. Coffee and chill. Who else we got? Let's see, we got. Oh, drop down a bit. So, what are you guys doing? So, we have one person from New York. I know it's freezing cold over there. And we have one person from Calgary. How cold is it up in Canada right now? So, Cita asks, margin call is tough. Is there any investing books you would recommend? Man, there's like 100. um, I honestly, for you know, since I don't know you personally and I don't know what your personal like financial like picture looks like, you know, I would honestly start you off with the basics. You can't go wrong with, you know, dang it, I can't believe I'm forgetting the name. Um, wow, I can't believe It's by J.L. Collins. His The Simple Path to Wealth. Thank you. Holy hell. The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins. Very basic book. He basically talks about the index, but he experimented for years, for many, many years. And he found like later in life, basically, that investing in the index was the smartest thing. But he also explains why. And it's such a great book. I mean, he tells you like he experimented with bonds, he experimented with REITs, he experimented with international, and he talks about why like the index is just unbeatable. And while a lot of us, it's human nature, to not want average, like we don't want average returns, we want exceptional returns, we want above average returns, and that's why a lot of us don't invest in a simple S&P 500. But that book really convinced me to put a lot of my money into an S&P 500 index. It's almost like a safety net, in case I screw up so bad in the future, at least I know I have that available to me. What's up, Mike? Hey, it's good to see you, man. Yeah, you thawed out today. Yeah, I saw some pictures in Houston. Yeah, they got snow, man. It's so bad out there. Like I said, I'm from Mass, man, so I'm used to the snow, but I didn't like it. I hated it. I think I blew two alternators on my car trying to get up a road. I had my car hit by a freaking snowplow. Let's see what else I had. I slid down a hill and I didn't want to hit the car that was, down, waiting at a red light. So I had to like move my car off to the right. And then I ended up hitting a snowbank. Like, man, I hate snow. And then your feet are like cold and wet. Yeah, I hate it. Yes, Cetus. I hope that answered your question. As far as books, another book I would recommend that I just like. It includes a little bit of real estate, but it also includes stocks as well. But it's more of a smaller section. Is Scott Trench's Set for Life. That is by far one of my favorite books as well. And it was the first book, not the first book, but it was the book I used as kind of my roadmap in the early days when I first got my first $100,000, right? Like I followed that roadmap. It doesn't happen overnight and it takes a lot of time and effort, right? But it's more so real estate investing, but they do include it's just like a great way to like look at how you build wealth, right? You build it out in chunks, right? Because there's going to be different habits that you have to have in order to get to your first 25,000, right? And then there's habits you're going to have to build in order to get to your first 50 and then your first 100. And then from 100 to a million, the habits are they don't really change that much, right? It's only when you start getting way up there, into the 2 million, multi-million, where your habits have to change, right? Because now you have something you want to protect and you have things that you want to implement. And you have to be a lot more cautious with money. So yeah, just something to think about. So what are you guys investing in these days? What's exciting aside from yield max funds? Like I said, they're all the rage right now. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll pull the trigger and open a small position in some yield max funds. But what's exciting? What's out there these days? Semi-retired. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I'm semi. I'm like semi retired. I'm hoping I don't have to go back to a job. Like that's my biggest thing right now. I don't want to go back to a job. I think it would like I have no problems going back to a job. Like there's no issue with that. But for me it's like I want to go back for the right reasons. Right now I'm enjoying my life. I'm comfortable. I get to work out on my health, just there's so much more benefit to not working right now for me personally. But hopefully, we'll see. We'll see in the future if I do end up going back to a W two. I don't think I'll take a W two in the United States. I think I'll stay out here in the world, and probably just take another job. I don't know, maybe in the Middle East, or we'll see how the next couple of wars play out. You know, might take a job somewhere in a war zone. Tesla and Nvidia, yeah, those are the big ones. You know, I've been reading a lot about like AMD, and that AMD might pop because AMD they so you have like Intel and Nvidia, right? Intel creates CPUs, right? They're strictly a CPU based company. Then you have Nvidia, more so graphics cards, and because AI and all that, Bitcoin mining at one point, or crypto mining at one point, took a lot of GPU. It's better to use GPUs over CPUs. That's what made Nvidia pop back in like 2018, 2019. But AMD, they own, or they bought out ATI, which was a graphics card company some time ago. So AMD is like a double, like you get two for one, and the price is pretty cheap. And I think AMD is going to overtake Intel. And I heard, or I read just a headline that Intel is on the block for being acquired. So if that happens, I think Intel's pretty much going to go the way of the dodo. Like it's not going to be. I'm not going to say it's going to go bankrupt and not be around, but I don't think it's going to have as much impact as like something like AMD might. So I don't know. I'm kind of excited. I'm keeping an eye on it, but again, I don't really really invest in individual like tech stocks like that, because I'm not that smart. But yeah, I like, I've always been a fan of AMD, like always been a fan of AMD. But Intel just has the bigger government contracts, which is surprising that they're not doing well. But I don't know. I guess AMD's making waves. Yeah, so they are basically a GPU and CPU chip maker. So, that's interesting. And then Tesla, I mean, there's one guy. Oh man, his name's Daniel, but he runs the channel. It's a Wealthy Life. He pops in here from time to time, but yeah, he has like I think he mentioned he has like 70% of his wealth in Tesla. I could be wrong about that. I thought I heard him say that, but he told me he has a lot of money in Tesla, and I was like, holy crap, like damn, like he is fully bullish on Tesla, and he's going all in. And I'm like, I can't. No, for me personally, I can't stomach that. I cannot stomach that. Oh, okay. So you have a small position AMD. Yeah, I think it is a buying opportunity. Only time we'll say if it's a great opportunity, but I think AMD is definitely like it's going to overtake Intel. Yeah, I think it's definitely going to overtake Intel for sure, and it might even in the future be a competitor to Nvidia. Nvidia is all the rage right now, but you never know what might happen. I think AMD would probably be, maybe in the next maybe like the next 5 to 10 years is going to reach those really really highs. I think. I mean, if you look at how it's performed over the past 10 years, I mean, it's just a matter of time for AMD if they keep doing what they're doing. Yeah, hopefully I have a cash out refi happening here soon. So once I have that cash out refi from one of these real estate deals I'm in, then I'll probably put some more money into other things. Because yeah, I'm really thinking like of buying probably some yield max funds or something like that, and then seeing how that plays out. Of course, you got to be a little more careful, but I would like to put it into probably Bitcoin. I hate to say it, but I'd like to put a little bit of money into Bitcoin. Um, and I'm keeping an eye on XRP, to be honest. I'm keeping an eye on XRP. Yeah, Tesla is a momentum play. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. It's always been a momentum play. I don't think it's ever been like because you're betting on Elon Musk, and whenever Elon Musk used to tweet something, Tesla would drop, and then it would do really well, really well, really well, and then he would tweet something and it would drop. Like it's so crazy. But yeah, I don't know. Tesla for me is super volatile. He's like, oh yeah, they have like Doge on their balance sheet. I don't know if they still do for Tesla, but they had Doge on their balance sheet. I think at one point, I think they had some Bitcoin on their balance sheet at one point. Like it's crazy. Yeah, I gotta see what else is out there. It's so hard to like keep up with all the finance news because there's so much going on. Like, you know, especially like everyone's saying everything's a buying opportunity right now, so you got to be real careful. I mean, you just have to be real careful, especially in the tech space. I mean, with, because, and this is just a prediction, of course, but because Trump is, now at the helm, um, and there's this big talk about AI and crypto being these next 4 years like flavor, you still got to be freaking really careful with all that because that's what everyone was thinking when the EVs were coming out, and there's three EV companies that are real that are real good examples of this, of hype and momentum, and that was Rivian, that was Workhorse, and that was there's Rivian, Workhorse, and NIO, and all these companies saw their prices decline by like 90%, 95 plus percent, so yeah, I'm always careful with freaking tech, tech stocks, flavor of the month stocks, things like that, because I've seen way too many investors just lose so much cash, and it's sad. I lost money on GameStop. If I'm being completely honest, that was probably the stupidest thing I'd ever done with my money. Yeah, that was the dumbest thing. But those burns like are everlasting. I'll never ever do some stupid trading momentum stock, meme stocks ever again. I don't care how lucrative it might be, because by the time you're hearing it in the office, it's already too late. By the time you hear it, it's already too late. Hey, don't worry, Sita. I'm not gonna hold you to it. But yeah, you can't go wrong with investing in any ETF related to Bitcoin. Yeah, 100% agree. 100% agree. Um, it's a safer bet if you can stomach that expense ratio. But and that's the funny thing. It's like, why wouldn't you buy the coin when you could, if you could buy the coin, why would you buy an ETF that's going to charge you, right? Charge you money, uh, in the form of an expense ratio. But I think the reason why people or these funds came out with these ETFs was because there's a huge bunch of people who don't want to deal with all the cold wallet storage, the device storage, the wallets, and all that crap, and they don't want to open up new accounts on exchange. So they just made ETFs because there was a need in the market. Obviously, there's a need in the market because one ETF, and I just did a video on this, one ETF has like $8 billion, I think, in assets under management through a Bitcoin ETF. So obviously there's a need there for Bitcoin ETFs, and I think the expense ratio is like 0.25%, 25 basis points, really low. Like I think that was really like that would be totally worth it. So Sita, what did you used to do? Like what did you used to do prior to being semi-retired? I tell you, like, man, I cannot wait to get to that level. To be semi retired, like actually semi retired, where it's work optional. Galveston, you still in here? Because I think Galveston's. I think he mentioned that he's also retired. Just saying hello to all the lurkers out there. If you're watching, pop in, say hello, ask your questions if you have any. What are you investing in? We're just here, just talking trash. Coffee, money, and finance. I think that's going to be the theme for a couple of these next lives. Coffee, money, and finance. I like that. We don't have to have any like actual topics to talk about. Um, I don't know. Maybe I might keep it that way. I like coffee, money, and finance. Yeah, one thing I am not putting my money into is any savings accounts. I know that might piss off some people, especially if they have savings accounts or high yield savings accounts. But yeah, I don't put my money into high yield savings accounts because I just don't think, I don't know. I just don't think it's like, I don't know. I just don't do it. I don't know why. Maybe like there's something in the back of my mind that says it's a waste of time, even though I have like a huge pot of like, not a huge pot, but a decent pot of cash just sitting there. And I'm like, I'll just keep it in my bank account because I don't want to put it in a savings account. I have to move it to a new account and then keep it there. And if I need it, then I gotta take it out. And then you get hit with those, not fees, but you get hit with those warnings like, oh, if you take more money out, we're gonna have to just turn this into a checking account. You know, I know M1 Finance they have like unlimited withdrawals from your savings account, and they have a high yield savings account over there. But if you were to, and I'm not promoting them, but if you were to, have money there and you need it real fast, and you gotta move it from one account to another, and then use that like it takes 3 days or something. Like, no, I'm good. I don't know. I just never did it. So CD used to be an industrial mechanic for 14. Damn. Troubleshooting pneumatic and hydraulic machinery. Oh, you just left your job in October. Well, congratulations. Congratulations. So what's keeping you busy nowadays aside from looking at the markets? Yeah, my brother, my older brother, he used to be like a just a car mechanic. I mean, any mechanic, you got my utmost respect. I mean, damn, like some days, man, holy hell, like it can be pretty bad. It could be brutal. It could be brutal. So frustrating, brutal. Yeah. I might have to fix my stream. I really think there's like a lag on the stream. Like there's some type of lag where like I'll say something and then someone else, like you guys will see it, but it'll be like 15 minutes, or not 15, but it'll be like 15 or 20-second delays. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure something out. Maybe I'll run two streams concurrent or something, like one on my phone, just so I can see what I'm saying. Because yeah, I'm actually not broadcasting this off of YouTube. Or yeah, I'm not doing this live off of YouTube. I'm using like a secondary software in order to like get this out. So I think there's a lag in between. I don't know. I'm gonna have to check into this. But I actually left my job in end of, I think it was yeah, it was August, end of August, I think, or July. I can't remember. I think it was, yeah, I think it was end of August. It was either end of August or end of July. I can't even remember these days. But yeah, um, yeah, I'm definitely glad to be done with the W2 for now. Oh, you okay? So you do some option trading. All right. Yeah, and getting back into fitness, man. I tell you, that was my biggest like that was one of my biggest reasons for quitting my job and just leaving was because I could see myself just, and I'm not body shaming. I'm body shaming myself, but I could see myself just getting fat and like lethargic all the time. I had no energy levels. Um, like I hated what I was turning into, and I used to be able to go to the gym, but then because work got in the way, and when I say got in the way, it's not an excuse. Like I would wake up 5:30 in the morning. I'd have my coffee, talk to the girl, um, and then be on the road by 6:30. Get to the job, get to the desk by 7:15, and I would not be able to leave that job until 8 o'clock at night. So by lunchtime, by 12 o'clock, I still had 8 hours to go before I could leave work, right? And then I would get home by like 8:30, 8:30 ish, and then you basically have an hour and a half to check emails, get a phone call in, do whatever errand you might have, shower, and then hit the bed, right? And then do it all over the next day. So there was really no time for gym. And that really just like pissed me off. I was so sick of that. I wanted to go to the gym so bad. And yeah, I mean, that was one of the reasons. Who else we got in here? I know there's some lurkers in here. Who else we got in here? Yeah. Yeah, you get it. Yep, you totally get it. No time for exercise. And then, you try to couple that. Aloha state of mind. What's up? What's up? What are you investing in these days? What's on your mind for aside from aloha? What what's on your mind for money and finance? Yeah, today we don't have any topic. We're just in here shooting the breeze. I'm just having a coffee. I'm waking up right now. I like doing these lives. I think for the live section, I want to just dub it the coffee finance and money. Coffee finance and money. And then we just, show up. Like for me, I'm waking up. For you guys, you're probably going to sleep. A lot of you are probably going to sleep soon. So maybe not having coffee is the best thing for you. But been accumulating SCHD lately to write out volatility. Oh, that's what's up. Yeah, that's a great. Yeah, that's a great way to look at it. Is this in a retirement account, a taxable account? What is this in? I always talk about like SCHD being the king of dividend ETFs, and I always get like some BS of like, oh no, it's not. I'm collecting 15% off Yield Max. Like, okay, bro, like I get it. Like Yield Max is paying out a lot of dividends. I got you, but SCHD is still a good fit for a lot of investors. Like SCHD is still really good. I don't know why people downplay SCHD so much. Like, yeah, SEAG is stable. Like, it's good. You can write out volatility. Yeah, it's gonna have a dip. There's, I remember like I think it was during 22 into 23, and people were just like, "Oh, SCHG is trash. It's trash. It's going down. It's losing value. Why did I buy this?" It's like SCHG is good. Just let it ride. Just chill. Calm down. Oh, it's underperforming the S&P 500. Yeah, it's always underperforming the S&P 500. Like, relax. Calm down. Just chill. Not always. I don't know. Okay, so Eugene, you're driving. All right, all right. Well, drive safe. Okay, okay. So yeah, there may be a lag. All right. Well, I don't know. I'm gonna run this off my phone probably the next time and test it and see what happens. Cause yeah, I just don't want there to be any lag. I mean, I have pretty decent internet out here. You guys would not believe how cheap the internet is out here. So for my cell phone, I get 10 gigs of data, and I hardly ever use 10 gigs of data. Um, but I guess I'm mostly around my apartment, so I don't use too much of it. But I get 10 gigs of data. I get unlimited minutes for calls, and I get 1 gig download, 1 gig upload for my internet speed, and all of this is for like $26 a month out here in Thailand. It's crazy how cheap that is. Like in America, it's $100 just for the cell phone, right? And then they tack on a bunch of all this crap, so you end up paying like 135, 150 for your cell phone plan, and then for internet, just for decent internet, from either Verizon or RCN or whatever else is out there. I don't even know. I haven't been to the States in some time. But just for decent internet, you're going to be paying between 50 and 100, right? Just buy that by itself. So like it blows my mind how cheap things are out here. I won't say cheap, I'll say cost effective. SCHD is a long, so Aloha State of Mind says SCHD is a long-term hold, and I like it when it dips in price and continue to reinvest and pick up shares on sale. Absolutely 100%. That is the way you should look at SCHD. I thought about adding SCHD to my portfolio to add some exposure to like, some blue chip stocks or blue chip style stocks. I don't know why I didn't. I know there was a reason for it. I think it really just came down to like I didn't want to keep spreading my money thin and thinner because I already have like 33 different individual positions, and spreading money, across ETFs, individual stocks, it's like, what are you gonna do? So I think that was the reason why I didn't pull the trigger. But yeah, I can't speak highly enough of SCHD. It's low expense ratio, dividend yield increasing over time. The CAGR is really good. Attractive ETF for income investors. Yeah, Eugene for Harmony mentioned, yeah, not going to the gym and gaining weight. Yeah, that was, man, I was so like, I've never seen myself. Well, that's a lie because I used to be a chunky kid, but I don't know. Like I got to this point where I was just going to my desk at work, and I could feel like the belt notch getting tighter. It was so bad. Like I was so like disappointed in myself, and I was eating well. Like I wasn't eating like French fries and burgers every day or pizza every day. Like I was being careful with what I ate, but like it's just you're sitting at a desk for 12 freaking hours, right? And then like if you're away from your desk for more than 15 minutes, you're going to have somebody, going to upper management, or you're going to have the government being like, "Oh, why aren't you at your desk? You're getting paid to be at your desk." Like, dude, shut up. I'm wasting away, dude. Like I put in easily freaking 11 hours at this desk. Like give me a break here. But yeah, I got so sick of that, and I was like, I'm done with it. Question for the people that are here: is 7 o'clock working for you guys, or do you think 8 to 9 would probably be better, or 9 to 10? I'm just curious. I might run a poll on the YouTube community to see what everyone thinks. But yeah, it's something I'm curious about. Does 7 o'clock work for everybody? Is that too late? Is that too early? I know we have people from all over the place, but I'm just curious. So Aloha State of Mind says, I already own a bunch of tech, so SCHD diversifies well for me. Absolutely. I mean, it's got like I think like 125 different holdings last I checked. I think that's what it has. So hell yeah. Dude, what? Long Beach, California. That's what's up. Yeah, I used to live in Torrance. Yeah, I used to live in Torrance, California. And yeah, I'm very familiar with Long Beach. I've never like I don't remember much of it, but I know like I remember going there. That's about it. Debating on moving back to Hawaii or slow travel Southeast Asia. Man, I would honestly say if you're gonna move back to Hawaii, like I mean Hawaii's pretty expensive, and I don't know what you're into. I love traveling and I love Southeast Asia. Like Philippines, you got to be careful where you go because it could be really trashy and really dirty. Like I've been to the Philippines a few times. You can also like there's also very nice clean areas in the Philippines, but it would be substantially cheaper than going back to Hawaii. Now here in Thailand, I mean you could throw a rock in almost any direction and you're gonna find a place that's really nice. It's very cost affordable. It's very westernized. English might be a problem, of course, but if you're in the major tourist areas, it's not a big problem. But you have those party cities, like Phuket and Pattaya. Um, so I'm living here in Bangkok. I've been to Pattaya and uh, I've been to Phuket. Phuket is really beautiful, really nice touristy area. But they also have the party scene. But you get a lot of like culture out there too. Bangkok, I just love it because it's like it's got like such a young, vibrant community. Expats from everywhere, all walks of life. Like everyone is here in Bangkok, and it's not hard to make friends out here. Pattaya is more for the people who just want to be day drinking all day. Um, there are people, young people that live in Pattaya, and you got like Jom Tien that's right there, right by the beach. Condo runs you like $300-400, and you're right by the beach in a very nice luxurious like condo. But the condos are like the shoebox size. Condos are not like super extravagant. But again, it all depends on what you're looking for and what your budget is. If you came here and it's just by yourself and you got like $2,000 for the month, I mean, you'll be able to survive off that. If you got 3,000 to 4,000, I mean, you're basically living like a king out here. Yeah, so Sita says, I need to kick off my Southeast Asia travel tour. Just waiting on my girl to tie up loose ends. That's what's up. Yep, yep. Heck yeah. Like, I've only been to the Philippines like a few times. I've been to Thailand more. But I really want to go to Bali or Indonesia to check it out because I hear it's beautiful. It's also very cost effective. Uh, and then you have Laos right next to us. You have Vietnam, which is, I mean, you could YouTube all these places, and I guarantee you there's going to be like some American YouTuber, like some like digital nomad talking about it. Like that's what, like I came to Thailand because I was like, it just happened. Like it was complete happen chance. It was back in 2019, and my friends were like, hey, let's go out to Pattaya and just check it out. And I fell in love with Thailand. I love Thai food. I love spicy food. Like I love the people are so kind. It's man, it's like unheard of. But in the surrounding areas, same exact thing. Like it's simpler. It's I don't know. It's just simpler. Like I remember I was going back home after I quit my job, and like, man, I didn't realize like how much of a like how I'll probably get hurt for this one. I didn't realize how big of an asshole like TSA has become. Like they are such assholes. Like it's crazy. I'm just walking through and I'm asking a question. People have like complete attitudes, and it's like, man, you guys really devolved around here. Like, damn, everyone's got an attitude. Man, you guys need to take a trip out to like Asia or something or somewhere else and just humble yourselves. I don't get taxed out here, but I will say that there is two types of fees out here. Like Thai people, they get charged something different than like foreigners, right? And it depends where you go. Like it, and they don't try to hide this, right? They don't try to hide this. This is completely like out in public. Like I went to an aquarium, and I was with my lady, and she got the Thai pricing, right? Thai pricing was like $1.50, but me being the farang, the foreigner, I had to pay like $10, right? Because Thai people are subsidized here, especially in the very like high tourist spots. Just Thai people are subsidized. Whereas foreigners, because we're tourists, and they know we got money, because why else would we be here in Thailand? We get charged the full price. So I don't know if they do that in the Philippines or if they do that elsewhere, like in Vietnam. I'm sure there's probably some version of that. So you just got to be mindful of that. You're not getting scammed. All right. Don't think it's a scam. It's just the way it is, right? It's just the way it is. But yeah, there are scams. So, you also have to be mindful of that. Yeah, you just have to be mindful of that. Yeah, yeah. So there's two separate prices for things. Like if you go to a Starbucks, I mean, everyone's paying the same price, right? Like if you go to these big commercial places, you're gonna get the same pricing. But I look Thai, so sometimes I get mistaken as Thai. So they'll start talking to me in Thai, and I'm like, English, English, and then they'll be like, oh, okay, okay, then I'm sure I lose my Thai discount. But yeah, even with my lady, like we'll go out to the markets or something, and the pricing for markets like food and stuff like that, like it's universal across the board. It doesn't matter if you're Thai or foreigner. But I think it's when it comes to buying like goods or services, like if you're gonna buy like a handbag or something from like one of these like small little shops, you know, for a Thai person they'll probably charge like $3, like $3.50 for like a bag, but they'll charge someone like me like $10 to $15, you know. but those are in those really touristy areas. Like if you're gonna go to the mall or something, again, like an H&M, a Gap, or Old Navy or whatever, you're gonna pay the full price regardless. Yeah, I can't speak highly enough of like Southeast Asia. It's when I came to Thailand, like I had the chance to go to Europe to go explore, the chance to go South Africa, the chance to go explore like other parts of Europe or Asia like Japan, South Korea. But man, when I came to Thailand, I just did not care about those other places. Like if there's other place, I'll Google Map, I'll like Google Images. For I don't care about the Eiffel Tower. Like I don't want to go to the UK. Like I don't really care about those places. Yeah, when I came here, like, and it was funny. I had a friend who told me if you go to Thailand, do all your traveling before you go there because when you go to Thailand, you're never gonna want to go anywhere else. And it was 100% true. Like I just did not want to go anywhere else. Like the food is amazing. It's amazingly cost effective. It's low priced. Some areas are absolutely beautiful, like beautiful, beautiful. And like Phuket has like some of the nicest beaches. God, like crystal blue water, like just clear water. Pattaya, not so much. At least on their side. On the other side is Jomtien, and they have like much cleaner water. But yeah, Pattaya is like sewage water. But yeah, like then Bangkok. I mean, the skyline, the city has got this energy and this like life that like I don't get anywhere else. And I've been to New York City, right? I've been to New York City, and over there it's not as vibrant. I don't know. It's like everyone's pissed off. Everyone's like upset about something. But here in Thailand, it's like Bangkok is man. I can't speak highly enough of it. Did I have a culture shock when I moved here? Not so much. Not so much because I've been coming here for a while. Um, I think initially I think initially it was because I saw how like kind the people are and how nice and sweet they are. And if you're a nice person, like they're not gonna mess with you. Like you know they know like it's embedded in their culture and their religion to just be kind, right? But it's us, the foreigners, that come in here and kind of screw things up because we're assholes and we demand things. We think because we have money, we can just boss people around. So it's that kind of attitude. But I have not met a rude Thai person. I have yet to meet a very rude Thai person. I'm sure they're out there, but I just haven't met one. And everyone's like super nice, super sweet, super accommodating. And yeah, I don't know. I just never had a problem. So I really want to. So Sita says I really want to locate to Bangkok, but the lady absolutely loves Japan. Rip. No, they. I don't think they're fake nice. I think they're really genuine. Like it is embedded into their like culture, into their religion to be kind. And yeah, I don't know. I just have not had like an attitude problem. Even when I was in Qatar, and there was like some because in Qatar it's the service industry, and like they import a lot of their service workers. That sounds wrong, but it's true. Um, Even like I've interacted with like Indian and Filipino people that were like absolutely rude, like just rude as hell. Uh, but not Thais, like just not Thais. Montel says, glad to hear you enjoying the Thai experience. We'll soon join before the end of the year. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Like, man, I love it out here. I don't ever want to move anywhere else. I can't move anywhere else. Yeah. Especially now that I'm tied down a little bit. Oh shit, I'm not wearing my ring. But yeah. I am tied down. So I don't think I can move around like I used to. So yeah, Cedar, you're gonna have to convince the lady, man. Yeah, I mean, Japan's nice and all. I'm sure it's really nice, actually. Japan and South Korea. I should have visited those places before I left the W2, but whatever. I mean, I'm happy here, and they got like they got all the authentic Japanese restaurants out here and stuff like that. So I'm pretty content for now. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, probably more so on the gentleman's side. I think it's gonna be that time. I'll definitely be doing another live tomorrow. well, today right now is Thursday, I think. Yeah, tomorrow's Friday, so I'll do another live on Friday. I think I'm gonna stick with this coffee, finance, and money theme. I really like it, where we just come in and BS. So this is really cool. But I will see you guys in the next one. Let me get these last couple of comments here. So Aloha State of Mind says, "Would my wife feel safe going out and about on her own in Bangkok?" Yeah, honestly, I would. Is there bad areas? I'm sure. I don't know of them. I don't hear of like tourists getting robbed. It's not something that really happens. Not by Thais, anyways. There's expats who rob other expats, right? Like that happens. I've seen that happen. I've heard that happen. So I would just be cognizant of that. But I don't know of bad areas in Bangkok. Like, like in Los Angeles, where the hood is, right? In Boston, where the hood is. In New York, where the hood is. Like, where these places are. Here in Bangkok, I don't know of any areas that are like designated like the hood, right? So I think in the city, yeah, like I would feel safe walking out at night with no problem. If you're in the city, all right, if you're in the city, if you start veering out to the suburbs, it might be a different story. But as far as I know, it's fine. So Montel says, please speak on your experience in the Middle East. What's the job market like, and also business opportunities? Example was business demands at those locations. Yeah, I can definitely hit those. Yeah, I can definitely hit those. So yeah, Montel, my experience, so I was working for the DoD when I was in the Middle East. So I worked in Iraq, I worked in Jordan, I worked in Qatar. I visited Dubai, I visited Bahrain, I visited what else? I think that was it, actually. Yeah. So I've worked, yeah, in those areas. And I worked in Kuwait as well. I don't know if I mentioned that. But yeah, I worked over there. And the DoD, like, they have obviously bases over there, and I can't see these bases going away anytime soon. As a matter of fact, the base in Qatar just signed a new 10-year lease, so there's job security there. In Kuwait, they have like a freaking they have like a 50-year lease on the base, so I think they're fine there. But yeah, there's a lot of DoD jobs out there for logistics, for tradesmen, for carpentry, for service workers. They call them base services. So life support. So you might have like people who just run like the gym, or people who run the dining facility, or people who are just like doing odd jobs, working at the as like a day labor or something, or carpentry, or HVAC. So there's a lot of jobs in the DoD space for Americans over in those areas, right? You just have to go find them. And they usually provide, housing, lodging, transportation to work. So you're going to be saving a lot of money there. Plus, a lot of your money is going to be tax free up until a certain point. So, definitely something worthwhile to look into. I enjoyed the Middle East. Don't get me wrong. I did enjoy my job. I enjoyed the Middle East. But when you reach a burnout phase, it's like, man, I'm so done with this. I can't do this anymore. Like, I want blue skies. I want blue skies. I want green trees. I want some greenery around me. Like, that was my happy place. So I just had to get out for a while for a very long break. I'm hoping I don't go back, but I might go back for the right reasons. So we'll see. But yeah, business opportunities, Dubai, I would say Dubai, you have like owning condos is a thing. Like Dubai, they're looking for a lot of foreign investment. So people to come in there, start businesses. They're very, very heavy into tech. So if you have like an entrepreneurial like tech idea, that might be worthwhile, right? To pursue. Dubai is really, really like forward thinking. It's crazy. Outside in the world, they're way more advanced than Western countries. Like in here in Thailand, everybody pays for everything by their phone. I was at a farm and we went to this food stall, right? Just a random food stall. Like, this person didn't have an ATM machine. You're not going to be using your credit card to pay for stuff, but people are like just scanning like QR codes to pay for stuff. It's crazy. Like, and it takes it right out of their bank account. They're so forward thinking. Like, everybody can have a bank account. Everyone could pay for something as long as they have their cell phone. Like, it is so cool to see. Meanwhile, like in America, like, everyone has like ATM or credit card scanners, right? Like, everyone does that. Like, we're not using our phones to the full advantage in the Western world. So it's cool to really see that. But yeah, if you want a lot more stuff on like overseas stuff, definitely shoot me an email. I'll put my email down here, and I can answer a couple things for you. Um, business at Gmail. Yeah, just shoot me an email. I don't mind answering stuff for you. But yeah, like I really enjoyed it. Like my friend owned, or he partnered up with someone in Bahrain to open up a bar. So nightlife is a thing out there. So he was making pretty decent scratch. But yeah, there's business opportunities. You gotta network when you're there. You gotta like plug in with people, and then just kind of go from there. And everyone in Dubai is always trying to make money. So it's not hard to find business partners out there. But you just got to be careful. Let's see. I appreciate that. Yeah, don't forget to clip these questions and put them into YouTube Shorts. Oh, for sure. I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna like do YouTube Shorts. I probably should, but I just don't have like, I don't know. I just don't have the content for it yet. I'm trying to build up like a bigger bank, and then to go back it like for a whole hour and then clip things out. I don't know. Like maybe I should pay somebody for that. Yeah, and you're welcome, Montel. Montel says these answers are amazing. Currently taking notes. Yeah, man. All about helping you out, man. Because there is so much more opportunity outside of the United States that isn't really talked about, and it's really niche to be out here. Like you really have to know, like how do I say this? Like most people, they're in their bubble, right? Like most people back home, they're in their bubble. Like they know their zip code, they know their city, they know the job market, they know where they're going. They don't leave their zip code. They don't leave their bubble, right? And then they might come across a YouTube video that shows what life is like on the outside, like in Costa Rica, or life is like in Dominican Republic, or life is like in Portugal or Europe or South Africa or Thailand, Southeast Asia. So they start to see these videos and then they're like, holy crap, like there's real life outside of the United States. I used to think, before I went to the Middle East, I used to think that everything was like mud huts, right? And I swear to you, this is probably the worst way to look at it. But, because I was, always watching the news, right? And the news kind of fed me this narrative that the Middle East was like this really dusty, well, it is dusty, but this really like dirty, like 1950s, like era style mud hut, low quality of life type of area. But when I got there, I was blown away by how beautiful the places were. Like, as much as I don't like Kuwait, I can't lie and say that it's completely ugly. There's some places in Kuwait that are very beautiful, really nice looking. There's places in Dubai, obviously, that are beautiful. There's places in, Bahrain that are nice. Jordan was astonishingly, like, really nice and clean. And, even here in Thailand, I mean, yeah, Thailand is beautiful. Like, Thailand's really nice. But yeah, getting that experience is hard. Like, a lot of people just, they know their zip code, they know their city, they travel, quote unquote, to New York City, they travel to Miami, right? But when you start flying to like the Caribbean or like, Jamaica or other outside the continental US, that's when things really, like when your mind really opens up. And then, you just talk to people, you network, and next thing you know, you're thinking about opening a business, right? But you always got to be careful. Always be careful, because there's a lot of people who are all talk, and then when the action starts, when time comes to take action, a lot of people don't take action. So you just got to be real careful with that kind of stuff, because there's a lot of bullshitters, especially in Dubai. There's a lot of bullshitters. So, but there's also a lot of millionaires, and they're super humble. Like, I'll share this story, and then I got to end the stream. But when I was in Dubai. There was this guy who, over 5 years, right, he built a multi-million-dollar business by himself, and it was in property management. So it was just him. And then now he has like a staff of like 40 people, right? But it was just him in the very beginning, and he just had a drive and an ambition, right? And I'm talking to this guy, and I met him through a mutual friend who owns a media company out there. And he is just saying, yeah, I went through this, I did this, I was hustling every day. I was putting in like 15, 16 hours a day, calling people, just chatting with people, like networking. He built a multi-million-dollar business, and he took me out for coffee, and we got into his Rolls Royce, and his like I've never been in a Rolls Royce before, and this thing was spectacular. It was so cool to be in a Rolls Royce. Uh, so that was eye opening to me. Like the potential that's there in Dubai. If you have drive, ambition, and you have vision, and you go to a place like Dubai, like things will happen. Like things will happen for you, but you got to have that drive. Even here in Thailand, there's like expats who are opening like cannabis shops, selling weed, and other among other things. There's expats opening like restaurants. There's one restaurant down in Pattaya, and they have like really really amazing, like almost southern style food. It's called Culture with a Q, and it's in Pattaya. It's owned by an American, and this brother, like, God, like I saw a couple of his videos on how he was making like mac and cheese and like some brisket and things like. I'm like, damn, that looks so good. Like I would pay just to get on a bus to go to Pattaya, just to go to Culture. Like that is how, like, I want to go. I just can't find the time right now. But yeah, there is business opportunities outside of America. You just got to go find them. You just got to network. You got to plug in with the people and just, yeah, I mean, you'll find it. You'll find it for sure. But that'll do it for me, everybody. I appreciate you guys as always coming on the stream. I think I'm gonna do these streams, continue doing these streams every day, 7 a.m. my time. And I think I like this format, coffee, money, finance, and we'll just shit. We'll just sit and chat, guys. But other than that, thanks for joining. Thank you for all the questions, and I will see you guys in the next one. All right, everybody.